Update. I, 30, think my wife, 27, has been having an affair with our son's kindergarten teacher, 30. How can I handle this in a way that doesn't hurt and confuse my son? Original post. So basically, I travel for work, but my wife is a stay-at-home mother to our 6-year-old son. He started school in August, and we both hit it off with his teacher and he became one of our friends and would come over sometimes to hang out on the weekends, etc. About a month ago, when I was home for a week or so, I found a change of men's clothes in the laundry hamper in the basement and recognized them as not mine and asked my wife about them. At first, she insisted they were mine, but as soon as I pulled them out and said that I don't wear those kinds of clothes, her whole demeanor changed. She suddenly got very reserved and said it was his, my son's teacher, and that he came over and went swimming, and that's why they were there, because he had brought a change of clothes. She had never told me she had anyone over while I was gone, which was fine but a little odd. When I asked what day he was here, she told me today, which was conveniently also the same day our security cameras were broken, and she had to reset them or something. Still, it didn't make a lot of sense to me, but me and my wife never had any issues, so I just shrugged it off and went to bed. A few hours later, and she was bathing in our master bathroom, I could hear my wife on the phone while she was in the bathtub, both being extremely quiet and giggly. I heard her legitimately say, "Ooh, I love your Batman voice," and so I got up and knocked on the door. The following conversation ensued. Me: "Hey, who are you talking to?" Her: "My sister." Me: "Your sister can do a Batman voice?" Her: "Why are you listening to my phone call?" Me: "I'm not. I overheard you." Then silence, and she hurriedly got off the phone and came to bed a little later. I hate to say it, but I did go through her phone and immediately found a lot of stuff I really don't like. Her and him, the teacher, with my son out doing things looking like a family. I found text that she had been making a lot of trips to the school and meeting him for lunch during the day. He had gifted her flowers twice. Ultimately, I found really weird hotel booking confirmations in the teacher's name and the duration of the time I was gone for a hotel in our city for 2 adults and 1 child, which made me look back on some of the pictures I saw on her phone and realized that at some point she had taken my son to a hotel with a teacher and all of them were together. I am not proud of going through her phone, and obviously I didn't find anything romantic between their texts, but they do seem to be constantly eager to talk, and the hotel thing weirds me out, frankly. I haven't taken any job super far away for a while for a reason, and more time goes on, the worse I feel about what I saw on my wife's phone. I think I'm going to straight up tell my wife tonight that someone told me they saw her with a teacher at a hotel, and that someone made a comment about how much she is at the school. I am especially concerned for my son, and wondering what he might have seen. As far as I have seen of his schoolwork and from what he's told me, he just does a really good job at school, and loves his teacher and class. He's really well adjusted, but talks about his teacher a lot, and even randomly blurted out when I took him to McDonald's that sometimes his mom makes him call his teacher uncle/daddy. Which is just bizarre, but also could just be him being a kid and saying weird things. Should I ask him? I mean, he's only 6. If he hasn't seen anything weird, I don't want to confuse him, but I also feel like if my wife is acting this way, I have to be sure my son isn't being hurt or involved in this. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Do not confront her. She's only going to lie to you. First and foremost, you need to go to a reputable divorce lawyer/law firm. I'm not suggesting you file for divorce. I'm only advising you this because if it gets ugly, and it most likely will, you need to get a leg up on this. Also, a good law firm will set you up with a private investigator. Odds are there's more to this than you know. If you don't feel comfortable going to a divorce lawyer for advice, then at least get a good private investigator. Then based on what comes up, you can decide how you want to proceed. Good luck, man. This sucks. Oh, okay, so I won't confront her then. I guess I'll start shopping around for a good lawyer and a therapist while I'm at it. I know you feel like throwing everything in her face, but don't do it. Lawyer up and start documenting her interactions with your kid and a teacher. Get your financials in order. House, accounts, bills, who pays what, from whose money, where the hotel's paid for, etc. Keep as calm as possible. When you feel you can't handle it anymore, go for a walk alone. I do, and I'm struggling against just screeching at her. But I know it's best for my son and even myself in the long run if I just suffer in silence for another few weeks so I can find a lawyer and get the ball rolling. Man, I'm sorry. Get all the proof you can to give your lawyer and figure out where to go from here. Second this, she's found your replacement. Third this, Get your documents in order, get a lawyer, and protect your connection to your son. Thanks, everyone. I managed to preserve some of the proof of the hotel bookings and pictures via screenshot. I even was able to log on to her Discord and confirm that she is, definitely experimenting with him to say the least. Edit, thank you everyone so far. I've decided not to confront her and just wait it out with the help of a lawyer/private investigator. And now for the update. Hey everyone. A month ago, I made a post about my wife cheating on me with our son's teacher, obviously. I had a lot of people asking me for an update when I had one, so this is it. I served my wife divorce papers a week after my post was made. With the help of a damn good private investigator and another employee at my son's school, I had more than enough evidence to file on account of infidelity. Not that I needed this, but the harsh truth of the situation really pushed me to actually go through with it. She denied everything at first, but caved and signed them later on in the evening after realizing I meant it. Everything should be finalized in about 3 to 4 more weeks. I have primary custody of my son as of now, on account of my now ex-wife had been going through absolutely ballistic with pain pills. Like going through $400 worth a week. I'm not sure how I didn't see all of the signs, but I found this out via my PI. It made me realize I was away from home far too often. I was an absent father and husband, and I'm working every day to change that. It also made me realize how blindly I trusted her to woman up and be there for our child when I was away. And I hope I will never be that naive again. I hope she gets the help she needs so she can seize the disappointment she has caused my baby. He cries a lot now. I feel terrible for him, and I'm not sure how she could have acted with such disregard for him going to the affair. As for the teacher, it turns out he was on some sort of quarterly contract or something at the school. And after a trip to the school system, armed with what evidence I did have and quite the grievance against him, I have been informed that he has not been invited back for the new semester after Christmas break. Wife has moved out of the house that is at her parents', but she comes on the weekends to see the kid. Sometimes I still love her, and my self-esteem is mostly shattered after this whole ordeal. But I'm in therapy. So is my son. We've both had 2 sessions. We are going to be okay. I have family coming from out of the country for Christmas, and he is so excited for that. Thanks for everything. Wow, I've been waiting for an update from you. Just despicable behavior. Not just infidelity, but also the reckless exposure of your son to this person. Good luck and glad you and your son are in therapy. Hopefully your soon-to-be ex-wife will get her act together, so your son can have both his parents in his life. Did she express any remorse? Or was she just upset about getting busted? I'm also hoping she really pulls through with the rehab, and slowly gets to a place where I can trust her to have him for the weekends at her place, etc. I'm not going to stop her from being in his life, but I will monitor the time they have until I'm sure she won't get him involved in any more chaos like this. She denied everything at first, and it was all waterworks with the "I love you." So we had a long talk and I told her she had to stop lying, and that she didn't love me. She basically agreed that she didn't love me, and thought she could have both a boyfriend and a normal family at the same time. She's in therapy too, I'm sure, because of the rehab. I hope the best for her, really. But what she did really sucks. Oh man, complete cake eater. Wow, what a couple of awful people. Getting your son to call this turd-stained daddy? No matter your absence, you should have been able to trust your wife to deal with a problem with your family's best interests at heart. Not this. Good luck with the therapy, the self-confidence, and the new dynamic. Hope it works out for you in the future. Unbelievable that people are harping on you for admitting you've been too focused on work and let things default to her. Yeah, as a partner, that's crappy. But are y'all for real? Having an emotional and physical affair, lying to his face, having your child around your affair partner. And this guy needs luck in his next relationship? Hell no. He tried, and she lied to his face and hooked up with another dude and had their kid around that. That's emotionally damaging to the child to say the least, but freaking unforgivable for involving the child. I'm sorry this happened, but I'm glad you walked away. Some things aren't forgivable. You sure your kid is yours? Definitely get tested for STDs. Just know that whoever you are a person that's worth of love and respect. Right now, you're a lovable person. Only a damaged, hurt person does that to something. It's not a reflection of you. I wish you the best of luck in the future. Continue therapy to process this and heal. Thanks, man. I'm literally working for the military and I'm on frequent deployments and trips to other bases, where I work with data and as a translator. I'll admit, I could have been around more. I see no fault in admitting it, but it also doesn't make me a monster. I'm doing what I can to fix it. I am sure my son is mine. He looks just like me, and even if he wasn't, that's my baby. I love him more than life, man. I did get tested, and luckily I'm clean. Thank you. Last story is titled, Update. Saw my best friend's dad kissing the person he's in love with. Original post. Hey, I'm 19 male, my friend Adam is 19 male too, but he has feelings for our other friend Pam who's 18 female, and whom we've known our whole lives. Last night I was walking from a job back to campus when I saw Pam going back into the dorms with a guy wearing a hoodie. I was going to shout out to her, but then I saw the guy wrap his arms around her and kiss her goodbye. After he turned around, it took me a second to recognize him because he's normally dressed differently, but it was Adam's dad for sure. Adam told me last year he had feelings for Pam, and apparently he's had them for a while. But he hasn't said anything to her because she said she's not interested in dating while she's here because she's on a scholarship and needs to keep up her grades. Adam's parents are married and he has younger siblings, so I don't know if I tell him what I saw or stay out of it. I think I'd want to know, but I've never been in a situation like this, so I don't know. Now for the advice before reading the update. Tell him, so he can let his mom know she's married to a freaking creep. It's really freaking creepy, right? Has Adam's dad known Pam since she was a child? Yeah, he's known her since his family moved here when we were like 4. Are Pam's parents friends with your parents as well? And or Adam's? Just try to remember that if you tell someone what you saw and people get mad at you, it's not your fault. This is all on a 40-plus-year-old creeper who is taking advantage of an 18-year-old, and probably even younger, which is a big problem. Yes, they're all friends with each other. Thanks for the reassurance. I'm going to talk to my parents tomorrow. Normally, I'm a mind-your-business kind of person, but she's 18. He's known her his entire life, and he's married with kids? Red flags all over. How old is he? I don't know exactly how old. I know he's younger than my dad who's 42, but not by much. You need to tell Adam. His mother needs to know, and so do Pam's parents. Try talking to both your parents first. This is huge, and a possible grooming or creep situation. It may possibly be innocent, but that would be one hell of an explanation, which you should get from each party separately so they don't have a chance to concoct a story. Since this is so big and a potential safety issue, I highly recommend leaning on your parents for advice as you don't have that much life experience either. Plus, this could get really ugly. Yes, I guess this is my best bet. I know my mom is going to flip out. It will be awkward and uncomfortable. Just sit them both down and tell them you need to talk to them about something important, and for them to listen to the end without interruption. Tell them everything you posted here. Your concerns over your friend's father cheating, the young girl who may have possibly been groomed or is getting in over her head, and mention your friend who has feelings for the girl whom his father is kissing, and how this could all end badly. You don't know how to approach your friend to tell him what you saw. And while another person's marriage isn't something that is generally other people's business, you don't want to betray your friend by staying silent. Even though the truth could possibly end his parents' marriage, destroy his relationship with both his dad and his girl, plus the whole possibility of a potential grooming situation. Or at least a girl who isn't over her head, hasn't thought of the consequences, or doesn't realize the damage this can cause. It's a lot to unpack, and you need their help. And now for the update. I had every intention of telling my parents and getting their advice. But then Adam invited me out, and for a big part of the night, Pam was there with us. We had a few drinks, and after Pam left, Adam was basically saying how they had hung out earlier in the day, how he was going to tell her about his feelings for her, etc. I ended up telling him about what I saw, but I told him I had literally zero context and didn't know what the exact situation was. He thought I was messing with him at first. He thought I was pulling a prank. Then we went to Pam's room and he was like, "Are you sleeping with my dad? I need you to look me in the eyes and tell me you aren't sleeping with my dad." And she immediately started crying, saying that she felt horrible for what she was doing, and she felt horrible for lying to us and hurting Adam's family and mom. But it just started happening, and she didn't know how to stop it from happening. Adam was really mad. He told her it was disgusting, that he's known her from since she was a kid. Pam was just sobbing and kept apologizing over and over, so we thought it was for the best if we left and let her roommate calm her down. I tried to calm Adam down, but then he called his mom and was just like, "Did you know that Dad was sleeping with Pam?" And she thought he was messing with her, and she kept asking him how much he'd had to drink. But she finally realized he was telling the truth, and I could hear her yell through the other side of the phone. I guess to Adam's dad, is this the truth? Is it telling the truth? So the aftermath of all this is that Adam's dad was kicked out of his house. His mom is next level pissed. Destroying his things level pissed. Pam's parents are pissed too. Apparently the altercation Adam's dad had with her dad didn't end well. It wasn't physical or anything, just ugly, I heard. I don't know when the relationship started, but I guess the timing is suspicious enough that the cops came and talked to Pam. He was doing alright, but just mainly wants to be left alone right now. Adam is still pissed. He's blowing off classes and binge drinking, and said he doesn't plan on stopping until he forgets about his pathetic father. All of this sucks, but I know I couldn't have kept this from Adam. He's my best friend, but I couldn't keep that from him. I know some people think I should have kept my mouth shut, but I think that would be a pretty horrible thing to do to a friend. You did hard yet right thing, Opie. I'm sorry for your friend. Thanks. He's not handling it well, but hopefully he'll pull it together. I hope so. Binge drinking isn't gonna help him. He can't forget his POS father. He is gonna need therapy. Yeah, I'm going to work on warming him up to therapy. Me thinks the girl was groomed and dad is a pedo. There's really no thinking to do about it. He's been around her since she was a small child. He straight up did it to her. It's not like there's some switch that flips when a young girl turns 18, that all of a sudden makes a grown man start seeing this child he's known for years as a romantic option. Dude is a verifiable pedo, more than an animal and less than a man. You 100% did the right thing. Being a good friend isn't always going to be a fun thing. Hard truths, tough love, and honesty all demand sacrifice. You did great. Sorry it sucks. Thank you. It does suck.
Update. Husband attempted to manipulate me. I called his bluff. Now what? Original post. I, 35 female, have been married to my husband, 37 male, for 5.5 years. And we have an 18-month-old daughter. We've generally had a good marriage, but we've repeatedly had the same 2 arguments for over 3 years. The first argument is that I work full-time, pay 85% of our bills, and do all of the cooking, cleaning, shopping, laundry, running of the household, etc. He also works full-time, but after work, he comes home, immediately takes off his work clothes, throws them on the couch in my living room, and goes into the family room to watch YouTube. I have repeatedly asked for help and get the runaround. The second is that he has a small porn addiction and suffers from premature ejaculation, an issue in itself, but not our main problem currently. For the last week and a half or so, I had been running 80 miles an hour getting ready for the holiday this week. I was cleaning the house, washing the bedding in the guest room, cleaning the fridge, doing all the bits and pieces you need to do to host family for Thanksgiving. I was also doing all of my daily tasks. For example, on a typical day, I wake up, make sure his, mine, and the baby's lunches are packed. She's dressed for daycare, my work bag is packed, then drive to work. After work, I drive to daycare to pick up our daughter, often taking meetings via phone on the commute. I run any errands that need to be done, grocery, Costco, pharmacy, etc. Come home, immediately breastfeed the baby, start dinner so we can eat once he's home, give the baby a bath, let her play while I clean off the table, do the dishes, clean the kitchen, tidy up, feed her again, get her to sleep, and then finally take a shower myself. It's all basic daily tasks, but I don't stop until 9 to 10 at night. Last week, I asked again for help, but was told that he needed the break because he was tired. I naturally told him that I never get a break, that I'm tired too, and need help with the house. If he can't contribute financially at 50%, he could at least contribute half of the cleaning. He shut down and gave me the silent treatment for 2 days, then asked if I wanted to go to his mother's house with him and the baby. I said only if he wasn't going to ignore me the whole time. That was the match that lit the fuse. He exploded. Evidently, I've done nothing but bitch for the last 3 years. He said he hates cleaning and isn't going to do it, and that if his contributing is such a big deal, then we should divorce. I asked him what that would look like to him. He said, "I'll get an apartment and sign the house over to you. Refinance it in your name. We'll split custody 50-50 and split her expenses 50-50 as well." Then he stormed out of the house and went to his mother's until about 1 a.m. He gave me the silent treatment for another 2 days. The other day, I asked him how his apartment hunting was going, and he said, "What?" I told him I thought he was right. I had been bitching about this for 3 years. I'm miserable, and he's not helping make my life easier. I agreed divorce was the best option and that I'd rather separate as friends and be good co-parents than grow to hate him and feel stuck in a toxic marriage. He then said, "I only said that to scare you into shutting up." Basically, he attempted to emotionally abuse and manipulate me to get his way. As someone who grew up in a toxic and abusive household, this immediately shut me down emotionally. I look at him now and I feel nothing. He's trying to get back in my good graces, bringing flowers, chocolates, and all it does is make me angrier. I need advice. Is the fact that he tried to manipulate me and admitted it a valid reason for me to just want to shut this down? Because I have to be honest, I'm tempted to ruin Thanksgiving. I don't know if I'm just angry and reacting out of that, or if I'm truly at the end of my rope. Now for the top advice before reading the update. So he does nothing, contributes almost nothing, and the sex is bad? And he thought he'd scare you by saying he'd leave you? That doesn't sound scary, that sounds like a gift. This is what I said to my BFF when I was talking it out with her. Don't threaten me with a good time. But I needed the kick in the butt Reddit will give me, I think. He's not just manipulating you, he's exploiting you. You're carrying the financial burden, all household responsibilities, childcare, and he tried to use divorce as a weapon when you ask for a basic partnership. His admissions that he was trying to scare you into shutting up shows he views your valid needs as an inconvenience to be silenced. You're already functioning as a single parent while bankrolling his lifestyle. The only difference is you have an adult dependent who throws his clothes on your couch and watches YouTube while you exhaust yourself. The flowers and chocolates now aren't remorse. They're panic because his emotional blackmail didn't work. You're not overreacting. You're finally seeing clearly. When someone tells you they'd rather divorce than contribute to their own household, and that admits they were just trying to scare you into compliance, believe that revelation. He's showing you he prioritizes his comfort over your well-being and will use emotional warfare to maintain it. You're not angry because of the manipulation attempt. You're angry because it exposed the fundamental disrespect at the core of your marriage. He contributes minimally financially, does nothing domestically, and when confronted tries to weaponize divorce to silence you. The flowers aren't going to fix this level of betrayal. He wants 50-50 custody, yet cannot manage 50-50 parenting with the other parent in the home. If he's somehow granted 50% custody, he is in for a massive shock. Good. Let him learn. This man effed around and it's find out time. OP, you've called a lawyer, right? You need to get the drop on him for filing before his mommy does it for him. And congratulations on your upcoming liberation from the sad freeloading limp dick you're married to. I have an appointment with one next week for a consult. And what makes me laugh is my sister-in-law knows about the issue and 100% thinks his mom and dad are going to be angry with him. Evidently, they have told him he needs to step up previously. You don't need permission to leave, but here it is anyway. You have permission to leave this really toxic situation, and you will probably be happier without him dragging you down. I don't know why this comment made me cry, but it did. I think I did need permission to leave. I feel selfish for wanting more and breaking the family. I was raised in a family where divorce wasn't an option. Now I have cut off my family and don't have that additional pressure, but I guess old wounds still fester. Now for the update 6 months later. It's been a while since I posted, but I wanted to let things play out and give you a full update. First, I want to say thank you to all of you who responded and gave encouragement. You helped more than you know. I did it. I filed for divorce. Our divorce should be final by mid-June. He fought it for a few months, but finally seems to understand that I can't move on, and I won't let him rug sweep it anymore. He's still talking about hoping for a future reconciliation, but I told him that honestly, without massive amounts of therapy for both of us, I don't see much hope there. Once he accepted that I wasn't giving in and that the divorce was real, he actually became agreeable to discussing terms and working with me on custody arrangements, housing, etc. That's not to say we didn't have our drama. Lord knows we did. Fortunately, nothing too physical toward me. He grabbed me a few times, trying to force me to stay in a room to get yelled at, but I set him straight real quick. His threats were mostly directed toward self-harm. The first time was back in February. He was still in denial that I'd filed and was very angry about losing the best things in his life. He threatened to go downstairs and take his own life. Because I'm stubborn as the day is long and don't have the sense God gave a goose, I followed him down there. I ended up wrestling his gun away and locking myself and the toddler in the bedroom. I should have called the police. I still don't know why I didn't. Instead, I called his brother and told him to come get him. They did, and the next day, I took the gun to his parents, which was unloaded and never had ammo because he was manipulating me again, and said if that gun ever made another appearance in my home or around my child, I would ensure he was never around her again. It hasn't been seen since. A few weeks later on their birthday, our toddler and soon-to-be ex share a birthday, he jumped off my 2-story deck after my daughter's party. I didn't see it happen. I came down the hall and our 2-year-old said, "Mama, Daddy fall." I walked outside and found him kneeling by my lawnmower, claiming he was fixing it. Obviously, my 2-year-old hasn't learned to lie yet. I texted my friend and said, "I'm pretty sure he just jumped off the deck. He doesn't seem hurt, but I don't know what to do." As I hit send, I heard him on the deck talking to our kid. I looked out the door and saw him leaning off the edge, obviously about to jump again. I lost it. It probably wasn't the appropriate thing to say, and I might be a terrible person for saying it, but it worked, and I don't regret it. I told him, "So help me God, if you jump off this deck and die, I will move, and your family will likely only see her once a year. If you jump and live, I guarantee you'll never see her unsupervised again. You step back over that railing and get both feet on this deck right now, or I swear to God, I'll make sure of it." He stepped back pretty quickly. Of course, he then wanted to argue about how I was driving him to this, how he didn't deserve to be left alone, how I was breaking his heart. I reminded him that he had spent the last almost 4 years breaking my heart and spirit, and I was done having this conversation. As I turned to walk away, this man grabbed my wrist to force me to turn around. I already had my phone in my hand, and I have never called 911 so fast in my life. The police showed up and took him to the hospital for a psych evaluation. I was under the impression that a self-harm attempt in this state required a 72-hour hold. They released him after 2 hours, suggesting he talk to a therapist. I didn't want to involve the police. I really tried to avoid it. But part of me wishes I had involved them earlier. He has been much more docile and accepting since. No more grabbing, no more threats. We still argue, but at least the worst part seems to have ended. It helps that even his parents are telling him, "She called the cops on you. She's crazy. Let her go." I'm fine being labeled the crazy one. I've been called worse by better people. Thank you again. Y'all were the voice of reason I needed, and you have no idea how many times I read those comments when I needed encouragement and felt like I had no one in my corner. Maybe good to document all of these actions with your attorney, and that he be required to have supervised visitation for the foreseeable future, regardless of how he is acting now. He still doesn't sound mentally stable enough to be a sole parent during his time with your child, or beyond some other actions such as abducting your kid. Sorry you've gone through all this, but I think your child's safety should be your paramount thoughts. Absolutely. Have made sure everything is documented and ensured he is in fact seeing a therapist. Fortunately, his time with our kid happens with his parents present, as he is staying there for now. They might not like me very much right now, but I trust them. They have made it very clear that I'm still family to them. I'm glad you're aiming to be free, but from reading that, my heart and stomach plummeted. Especially when you said he is now more docile and accepting. This particular time is now the most dangerous for you and your daughter. He's unstable and has access to a gun. You need to insist he's never unsupervised around her. You need to stop being around him. I really hope I'm proven wrong here, but everything is pointing to him escalating. I'm proud of you for getting out. You gave him more chances than most would, and his own actions sealed the deal. He weaponized threats, manipulated your emotions, refused to contribute as a partner, and tried to keep control even through the divorce. You stayed strong through it all, for yourself and your daughter. Here's to your peace, your freedom, and your future. Last story. My 35 female boyfriend, 32 male, is mad about what I said about his sister's miscarriage and weight, and I don't know how to fix the situation. One of my boyfriend's sisters, Cindy, 29 female, had a miscarriage back in December. Her doctor told her it was because of her weight, and that if she ever wanted to have a baby, she needed to lose at least 100 pounds. After that, she went on all sorts of diets trying to shed the weight. Keto cabbage soup, 1,000 calories a day, you name it, she tried it. And she did lose weight, a lot of it, really fast. She was losing almost 20 pounds a month, and she looked awful. And during all of this, she continued to actively try to have a baby. She got 2 positive pregnancy tests, both confirmed by a doctor, but neither made it past 8 weeks. Each time she miscarried, she was further devastated and couldn't understand why she lost the baby when she was doing what her doctor said and losing weight. She was very vocal about all of this, both with family and at our shared workplace. Crying in the break room, taking extra days off to see her faith healer, constantly asking people to pray for her and her lost baby's souls. It's really sad. She called out for her 3rd miscarriage this weekend and blew up the group chat, telling my boyfriend and me that we absolutely had to go to church with her and her husband on Saturday night, and to cancel the date we'd had planned for months. My boyfriend is a good man, but he's also getting tired of having to drop everything for his sister's grief. When we were getting ready for church, he told me he didn't understand why Cindy was still having so much trouble when she's losing so much weight. In a former life, pre-COVID, I was studying to be a dietitian. Due to financial constraints, I didn't finish, but I still have a solid knowledge on the subject. So I told my boyfriend that I thought the rapid weight loss is probably hurting things more than helping. Cindy has essentially told her body that they're starving to death, use up all the fat reserves so they can survive, etc. And if her body thinks they don't have enough food for them to live, then it's definitely not going to waste energy on forming a baby. Pregnancy is intensely taxing on the body. A body in a state of constant, months-long caloric deficit isn't going to let her stay pregnant. She needs to reach her goal weight and stay there for a while before trying to get pregnant again. I also think she needs to talk to an actual fertility specialist, or at least an OBGYN, instead of her family doctor who, from what Cindy said, didn't actually run any tests, just saw a fat woman who'd had a miscarriage and told her to lose 2/5 of her body weight, so she didn't kill her future babies. Also, a therapist, because her faith healer is trying to get her to wear a crystal belt to unlock her fertility chakra. She's a snake oil saleswoman who's slapping together New Age crystal BS with Pentecostalism, willy-nilly to scam vulnerable people out of their money. My boyfriend apparently told Cindy what I said, trying to help, and now she's flown off the handle and sent me 20 texts telling me I don't know what I'm talking about, and that I'm a bitch who's never supported her. Which, maybe I don't? I haven't examined her. I'm not privy to her entire medical history, and I'm not any kind of fertility expert. I know that rapid weight loss hurts your body though, and I only know what she said, which is quite a lot if we're being honest. She hasn't talked about anything that isn't dead babies or weight loss related in 6 months. So now I'm being asked to switch shifts at work, or at least work in a different area until the whole thing blows over. And I'm not allowed near any family functions. My boyfriend is solidly on his sister's side, saying I was talking out of turn for speculating like that. He doesn't want to be with me until I can figure out how to fix the damage I did to my relationship with his sister. I really don't know how I'm supposed to make amends with her, or where to even start. Now for the top comments. You dodged a bullet. You didn't say anything to her directly. You were asked by your boyfriend in confidence, and he said it to her probably way less sympathetically and then blamed you. He thought he was helping by passing along my expert opinion, but when it upset Cindy, he backtracked, and now he thinks it's my fault that it upset her, because it was still my words. But I wasn't present when he told her what I said, so I don't know how exactly he's quoted me. He's really not a bad person. He's just really close to his sisters. No, he's a D-head. He threw you under the bus, then blamed you. You spoke privately to him. He violated the privacy of your relationship and then had the actual outrageous cheek to blame you. Get away from this toxic mess. My boyfriend is solidly on his sister's side, that I was talking out of turn for speculating like that. He doesn't want to be with me until I can figure out how to fix the damage I did to my relationship with his sister. The hell? He's the one that did the damage by telling her. Let them be mad, honestly. Maybe it was the wake-up call Cindy needed. I'd reconsider my relationship after the stunt your boyfriend pulled, though. Sorry, but your boyfriend is not very bright. Many women deliberately eat healthy for a year before getting pregnant so the baby will be healthy. What you told him is true. He does not have your back.